Welcome back to the Winded Podcast. Today we have a very, very special guest. We have the TikTok goalie from Alaska, Gabi Gibson, on the show. One of the, in my opinion, biggest hockey creators that are even out there right now. Gabi, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you doing?
I am great. I am great. Anytime I get to talk some hockey and social media all at once, I'm a happy guy. So Um, I want to kind of jump right in off the bat. You have a very big event coming up with a cause that's very important to you.
Sure. So I was fortunate enough to be invited to a 24-hour hockey marathon in Lansing, Michigan. It is a 24-hour hockey marathon to raise awareness for pediatric cancer for kids and adults. And basically, what we're doing there is playing 24 hours of hockey. People can go and watch. Um, And essentially, I have a couple things in the works that are on hush hush right now, but there are some cool things that I'm doing while I'm there. And another big creator is also going to be there as well. So that'll be really cool. And that is April 18th and 19th. So I'm super excited to be involved with that and raise awareness for pediatric cancer.
That's such a great cause, and that is quite the commitment. 24 hours of hockey. I'm exhausted after 45 minutes of hockey. Usually, when I do beer league, that last 15 minutes is a real struggle. So I couldn't imagine 24 hours. What kind of training goes into something like that? Like, obviously, you're not going to be in net for 24 hours, but what kind of training do you kind of do to prepare for something like that?
Well, I would say the biggest thing is mental training because I was never the kid growing up to stay up 24 hours with my friends. I was the first one to go to bed, and usually it's like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. So it was not my cup of tea. So I think as I got older, I'm able to stay up obviously longer. I'm a server and then I'm also a social worker. So on those two things, like I kind of have to stay up. And over time, I think now I'm probably able to stay up past 8 o'clock. Usually that's the norm, I would hope. But just mental toughness is the biggest thing. And I'm not going to be the one to stay up 24 hours to see if I can do it. But it's more of, okay, well, I'm raising awareness for pediatric cancer. Like, I'm going to push myself to the limit and exceed the 24 hours and do what I can to help a good cause here. So mental toughness is the biggest thing, but also physical. Um, I will be tired. So a lot of energy, a lot of nutrition. I think we have time like off the ice to kind of just hang out with other people and mingle. So I think I'm gonna really take advantage of that and rest when I can.
Rest and fluids for sure. Whenever you
Mhm.
get a chance, that's
Yes.
great. You have built your whole persona online, as, like I said before, the TikTok goalie from Alaska. Why don't you talk a
Yes.
little bit about, how growing up in Alaska kind of impacted you? Obviously, it's still the United States, but it's a little bit of a different lifestyle out there.
Yeah. So growing up, I started hockey at 3 years old. So it was kind of just like the norm, as part of my routine. You really have to be an outdoorsy person in Alaska to really want to live there. And if you're not, it's not the place for you, let alone handling the cold. Fairbanks is really, really cold. It hits like negative degrees a lot. Whereas Anchorage, it's here and there. But this past winter was actually really cold when I went home for Christmas. It was -10 and I was outside skating. But that's because where I'm at now, we don't have ponds. So I take advantage of that. So growing up, mostly everyone that I hung out with or knew played hockey. It's a commonality. There's not much to do there. Um, so pretty much anyone you talk to, oh, I play hockey or I played hockey. So yeah, I mean, playing hockey there is a huge thing. Basketball, football, those are probably the top three sports. And then when it comes to summertime, it's hiking, fishing, camping, four wheeling, kind of going off the grid, maybe hunting. I never got into hunting. I want to do it, but I'm not home during the season that they have hunting. So it's kind of been a tough spot for me. But other than that, yeah, it's just growing up and playing sports my whole life.
So you've played hockey since you were, very young. When did you kind of settle on goalie as the position? Was that right off the start, or is that something that you eventually became?
Yeah. So when I first started, it's crazy. So we have a mall. Um, they recently blew up on Instagram because they dyed the ice pink for breast cancer awareness. And so it's really cool to see that a lot of people that I knew, like influencers and such, were commenting that it was like a really cool thing or liking it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Alaska's coming across their page. This is so cool. So when I saw that, I was like, that's the rink that I grew up on, and it's still up and standing, and that mall is still running. So I grew up playing on like a small rink inside of a mall, and the nets were small. Imagine, a mini knee hockey net for 3 year olds. Like it's a small net. And I pretty much migrated towards the net. Like that was like, okay, like I want to be a goalie. But obviously at 3 years old, there's no goalies. So once we hit like age 9, 10, that's the time where we start to do goalie rotation. Everyone has to try it. And the goalie that was playing goalie didn't want to, but his dad wanted him to. And they were like, "Oh, well, if you want to play goalie, like we'll just give you the gear and you can play." And I was like, "Sign me up. I'm doing it. I want to do it." And of course, parents are looking at their kid like, "No, you're not a goalie. Like you're not playing." And I told my mom, I was like, "I really, really want to play." And so I played goalie the whole season. And then after that, I just continued goalie training and I was a full-time goalie from then.
It takes a certain person, in certain sports, I mean, really all sports, the goalkeeper,
Yes.
takes a very specific kind of person, and you can't force somebody to do it, and you can't fake it for sure. So it definitely
Mhm.
if you wanted to do it, then that's probably the biggest thing to overcome because you can't
Yes.
fake that.
Right.
Did you ever, you kinda took it and never looked back? Did you ever miss kind of skating out as a forward or a defenseman, or was it something you just were like, "I only wanna do this"?
Yeah. So once I started playing goalie, it was kind of like I'm going to stick to this. I don't want to be a player anymore. I want to stop the puck. The biggest thing that caught my eye was like the pads, the helmet. I want to create my own helmet. And when I first started full-time goalie, there was a coach on my team who knew how to paint helmets. And so I gave him my helmet and I'll never forget I was obsessed with ultrasonic and ultrasonic was fast, so I wanted to be fast as a goalie, and I painted the background a brick wall, and so that was kinda like my first design on my helmet, and it's just something that I was like, "You know what? This allows me to identify who I am as a goalie through the painting on my helmet and the design on my pads," and obviously, as a kid, it was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna buy something off Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, and I'm gonna grow out of them." And so now, like, I'm able to express myself through the colors of my pads and possibly, some designs on my helmet down the road. But it's just something that I really liked. And, now I'm fortunate enough to play in a women's league and skate out for fun. And, we're scoring goals, not a big deal. And still able to play like high end men's league here in Oklahoma. So,
Yeah, I had Olivia King, former Gopher, Minnesota Gopher, and played for St. Thomas as well. And we talked about, the different designs and the helmet, and it's something that as a forward, I was always jealous of, being able to have something that was unique to you, and be able to express your personality. And, with your kind of career that's taken off with the social media and just the different setups that you've been able to put together and different, whether it's with Bauer or anything, just the different pad setups that you've had. How much have you enjoyed being able to be like creative and have that opportunity to, express yourself that way?
it's been amazing. I mean, from I think my first set of custom pads, I designed them during COVID. Um, and it was it's actually ironic because I designed them online. And at the time, I was back in Alaska and I was just messing around with the website, and it was through CCM. And the local hockey store called my mom and was like, "Hey, we have a set of pads here for your daughter." And my mom was like, "What pads are they talking about?" And I was like, I didn't even I don't remember ordering them or pressing like send, nothing. And the pads came in and they were maroon and black, and that was for my college team at the time, but the gloves never came in. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And so then I went to like the local store and got like a black set of gloves just to kind of match the color. But that was my first set of like colored custom pads. And then from then it's like I've been working with Bauer and it's been amazing. I can kind of just choose and pick whatever colors I feel that kind of define me or go spontaneous and pick whatever. So
That that pink set of pads that you have, the Bauer set is something else. That's, how much do you enjoy those?
I love it. It's actually so funny because when I went to the goalie game this past weekend, I didn't expect any other pink sets out there. And so when there was 3 of us, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, I hope we're all on the same team." We'd be the pink line, and then one of us got split up and 2 of us were together, but we were never on the same line. But it's just really cool to see that, like, pink is not just a girl's color. And, everyone, like, kinda wants to hop on that bandwagon and be like, "Yeah, like, I want pink pads too." So, it's a really cool feeling.
I would have wore pink gloves if I could have. I don't think I
Mhm.
was 1, I don't think I was good enough to pull it off, but 2, it just wouldn't have looked good with the red and blue that I was wearing. But
Uh,
yeah, no, I think pink is it's definitely a hockey color. So I love seeing different setups that are kind of crazy like that and not just, it's kind of boring just like whatever your uniform is. I love when it's able to kind of be a little, out there.
mhm.
You mentioned the goalie game that you played in. The clips from that are amazing. So if you haven't seen that, check out Gabby's page and check out some of the clips from that. But how did it feel to be in a goalie fight?
It was good. It was planned because the story behind that was we didn't know nobody knows who's drafted on what team prior to. And last year I fought a girl, Lauren Hennessy, and her and I were like, let's fight each other. It'd be iconic, 2 girls fighting. And I was like, let's do it. So obviously it's a friendly banter, but people on the outside are like, this isn't a fight. And it's like, guys, we're not gonna actually like punch each other in the face. Come on now. It's a content creator game. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna make this a part of my routine every year. It's like I'm gonna fight someone. I'm gonna be the girl that just goes out there and causes problems. When we did the draft, I was like, okay, asking all the people on the other team, can I fight you? Can I fight you? And the boys are like, I'm not fighting you. And I'm like, I need someone to fight. And my best friend Amber was on my team, so I couldn't fight her. And then the other goalie, Pappy, the goalie, she was also on my team. So I'm like, there's no girls to fight. So Tony Sauce on my team, he's also a content creator. He was like, I'll fight you. And I'm like, well, how does that work? We can't fight each other on the same team. So I was like, okay, I need to find someone I can trade jerseys with on the other team and set this up. Well, we were going to do it right off the bat of the first period. And then he was playing in goal. So I was like, well, this isn't going to work. So after the first period, I ran over to the other bench. One of the goalies gave me their jerseys. And then after the first like puck drop of the second period, we initiated the fight. And while we were fighting, the 2 other goalies were fighting at the same time. And I was like, okay, so we like kickstarted this thing. And people loved it. People were like, "Oh my gosh, that was so iconic." Like, but then of course other people have their other opinions. Oh, pink pads, girls can't fight. He didn't even try, all these things. I'm like, you know what? We did it for the fun of it and you can take it and run with it or not. So,
Yeah, even I feel like when there's goalie fights in the NHL, it's really not to the same degree of, like, enforcers fighting, like,
right.
it is more for the show of it and, like, the symbolism of it. It's not like I mean, the Swayman-Vasilevsky fight, they were actually kinda going at
That
it,
was insane.
but outside of that, I feel like the goalie fight is for the crowd, and it's not
Right.
like they're trying to hurt the because it's too important of a position, it's too whatever for them
Right.
to risk hurting themselves and everything. I know Swayman got some backlash here in Boston because he just got whooped,
Yeah.
but yeah, it really is supposed to be a fun thing. It's not meant to like, "Oh, we're gonna, like, kick his ass out there."
Right.
So, yeah,
I think that's hard for people to understand sometimes.
especially in a game that's it's a game made up of all goalies, like, what do you
Right.
it's supposed to be fun.
Right. Well, and I think people misunderstood that too because they're like, "Why are there other goalies out there? What is this?" I'm like, "Obviously, you haven't tuned in. Like, go
Yeah,
watch."
it's hilarious. It's, yeah, out of context, it probably looks insane, like, why are there 12 goalies on the ice right now?
Right. Yes.
That's hilarious. Let's go back to kind of the beginning of your online presence and how you got started in social media. I went back and I was looking at some of your older stuff, and it was very nostalgic because it was like this is like pandemic TikTok, like some of your early
Yes.
stuff.
Oh, you
Uh,
scroll way down.
well, I hit the popular and a lot of, yeah, so I hit popular, and the first couple were like, I'm like, "Oh, these are like, like the two best friends ones," and I'm like, "You've been
Yep.
in the game for a while for sure." Um, but when did you realize like, "Oh, I'm taking off, I'm building a brand here?"
Mhm. I would say my stuff started to take off during COVID, kind of when everything was still closed down, and like going back to school in person wasn't an option yet. Uh, and then I think once I went back to school after the first year of COVID, I kind of realized like I kind of have a presence. Um, it did cause a little bit of issues in college. People were offended by my stuff. I don't know how, but that's how it came to be. And I was just kind of like, well, it's not directed towards anyone. It's kind of just to, show who I am and be creative. And, I kind of just took off with it because I was like, this could be something and I'm not going to stop now. Like I'm determined to be something and an inspiration for somebody down the road. So,
Yeah, I don't think there's anything controversial about your content
no.
at all. I don't know how, but then again, the internet is just full of crazy people that love to pick
Mhm.
fights. You've obviously your online career has kind of opened a lot of doors for you. You've done, I mean, countless like once in a lifetime opportunity things. Is there anything that sticks out at the top that's like, I can't believe that I get to do this?
From the past or up and coming?
Either one, but we can start within the past because you've just this, looking at the stuff that you've been able to do is incredible.
Yeah. I would say the coolest thing that I was like able to experience was the Winter Classic in Boston.
I was
That
hoping
was
you'd
like
say that.
really yeah, that was surreal. The weather wasn't so friendly. It was raining, but just even having the opportunity, that was the first time I met Reagan Rust, the hockey guys, Zach Bell. That was, like, a really cool opportunity for me to connect with them, and ever since then, like, I've seen them at so many events, especially with Bauer, uh, and so, just being able to be out there and create content and be a part of something so big it was surreal. It was awesome.
Yeah, that actually kind of leads me to another question. You mentioned the Winter Classic in Boston. I
Mhm.
tried finding this answer, and I don't know if it's even out there, but who is your NHL team? Who do you root for?
Everyone assumes it's Boston because I was in Boston for so long for school, but it's actually San Jose.
Okay.
I've been a diehard fan of San Jose even when they were bottom of the barrel, when they were really good and almost beat Pittsburgh. And I think it was 2017 in Stanley Cup. It was just like, I don't know. As a kid, I was team hopping. I didn't know anyone or anything. And basically was following the goalies. I liked Martin Brodeur, and then I liked Patrick Waugh, and then I liked Fleury, and then Jonathan Quick. And then I was like, I like Auntie Nammy. And I was like, that's my team. So had jerseys and everything up until then of different teams. And it just stuck, I guess. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because even looking through your Instagram and looking through TikTok and stuff, because of the opportunities that you've had, you've worn plenty of different NHL jerseys, and it's like, I don't
Mhm.
know who she's a fan of.
Yeah.
Um, well, it's a great time to be a Sharks fan with the year they're
Mhm.
having, and I mean, being able to watch Macklin Celebrini every night must be
It's
incredible.
unreal.
That kid is
Yes.
something else. That kid is
Yes.
something else. Um, you mentioned, you went to school. Um, what was it like playing college hockey after, growing up playing in Alaska, coming down to the lower 48 and playing college hockey?
Yeah. So basically the start was I got recruited in Buffalo at the Riverworks tournament. It's like an outdoor rink. I don't know if you've been there. Um, but the Anna Maria coach was there. I got scouted there. And then the following season, I got recruited and went to college there. Anna Maria's in Massachusetts. And um brand new program for both men's and women's. We only had 12 girls, and that was including goalies. So we literally had one and a half, two lines maybe. Um, and halfway through the season of freshman year, half the team quit. And so this is where the chaos happens. We had one goalie leave and we had six skaters. So we had two goalies and six skaters left. And they were like, "We need a goalie to skate out. We need an extra person." And of course, I raised my hand. I'm like, "Put me in. I'll do it." And I haven't skated out since I was 9 years old, so that was an experience within itself. Um, I did what I could, and the skating techniques and everything, I was winded. It's so different, and I had fun with it. I don't think I scored any goals. I think I got an assist and a penalty in one game,
There
so
you
we
go.
almost had a little bit of everything. And then sophomore year, we got more recruits. We kind of filled up our roster. I didn't play very much. It was kind of an unfortunate season for me. And then junior year, COVID hit, so I stayed home and did school online. Came back my senior year. I didn't really want to play for that coach. And then my master's year, we got a different coach, and I kind of hopped on the team late. There was already 3 goalies, and I asked for an opportunity to, show up and play and earn my time. And unfortunately, I only got 1 game all season. So my college experience wasn't the greatest, but honestly, like, looking back, it sucks. But I was also able to play other sports while I was there. I hopped on the lacrosse team, never played lacrosse in my life. That was super fun. And then I joined soccer my freshman year for a couple weeks, but I just didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought I would. So, yeah,
In lacrosse, you played goalie as well, correct?
I did. That was a whole different ball game.
I was gonna say, I think the only athlete crazier than a hockey goalie is a lacrosse goalie.
Yeah. I can agree with that one.
That I did it I played lacrosse in high school, and I think we had a goalie get hurt, and I kinda had that moment that you did when you were a kid and be like, "I wanna play goalie,"
Yeah.
and I don't think I've been more terrified for 45 minutes of my life than standing in the net and just
Yes.
it's like, that ball comes so fast, there's no pads, it's
Yep.
terrifying.
Yeah, I had bruises I had more bruises from my practice than actual games. And I'm like, "Can I wear my, like, hockey gear out here?" Like, I saw one girl wearing, like, player shin pads and, like, hockey pants, and I'm like, "Can I do that? Because then I'll stand in front of everything
Oh, yeah.
willingly."
Yeah, I don't know why the padding isn't at least a little bit more, like, even if it was, like, soccer shin guards or something, like,
Mhm.
you're just
Yeah,
taking
nothing.
just rubber right off the shin. It is just
Mhm. And it
terrifying.
hurts.
It hurts. It hurts, and those bruises stay for a while.
Yeah.
Any lacrosse goalie has to enjoy pain.
Oh,
Hockey,
yeah.
you're padded up and, sometimes they get through and you feel it, but for the most part, most of the shots that you eat, you're not feeling them in that level. Lacrosse,
Right.
you feel every single
Everything.
one.
Yes.
It's brutal. You mentioned some names, before, and I kinda wanna put you on the spot here and get your Mount Rushmore of hockey creators.
Mhm. Who do you wanna know about
No, I wanna see your give me your 4 hockey content creators.
that I like,
Yeah,
hanging around?
or just yeah, you can take it however you want.
Ooh, okay. Top 4. Okay, well, I like everybody.
I
I'll
know.
say that. But just so we don't have any backlash from
No,
anyone. Well, I guess, like, some of the cool creators that I've met, I really like Reagan Rust. She's a genuine human being. She played D1 at BU. She's been coaching, kinda giving back to the community, trying to grow the game, very involved. She's awesome. I would say goalie wise, I really, really enjoy being around Nick the goalie or Kane Van Gate. They're both also really genuine. Always willing to create content with me. I'm like, hey guys, I'm making a TikTok. Like, can you guys get in, please? And they're like, what are we doing? So always willing, and both really, really good goaltenders, awesome content. And if I had to pick one more, it's really tough. I'm like trying to think of who I've like met. I don't know. I think if I had to like choose like skill wise, I think either Zach Bell or Swaggy P. Every time I'm in a shootout with them, I tell everyone there's no chance. Like I will try to stand there and watch the puck, and it's like a cat with a laser. I don't know where it's going. So I just try to put my body in front, and then even then they find a way to put it in the net. So it's like lacrosse. You're kind of just screwed, but they're very talented, and the things they do are so insane. I'll never understand it.
the hand-eye coordination that those guys have is and, like, just the control. It honestly looks like the puck is just on a string, and they're
It's
just
nuts.
moving it around. I don't know how you can do that,
Mm-mm.
and
No.
it's inspired, like, this whole next generation of kids, and the
Mhm.
stick work that you see with kids
Yep.
is insane. I had a hockey instructor on a couple weeks ago, and he was just like, "I am just amazed at what kids are able to pick up just from watching, like, their videos."
Yeah. It's insane. Well, and also to add on, if I had a bonus, I would add on the bench, the 2 guys, Jacob and Ollie.
They're
They're
great.
they're so funny,
They're
like,
so
they're
funny.
just as funny as they are on screen, like, hilarious, and the things they do, willing to throw their bodies around and have things shot at them, and I'm just like, no, like, I'm not doing that, and I'm a goalie, like, you guys are crazy." But their stuff is hilarious, so they're
Yeah.
awesome too.
That's a great list. I'm gonna use mine list, to suck up to the guests that have been on the show, so mine is Gabby Gibson, Olivia King, I'm gonna go TBR Brendan from TBR Sports, and then, I'm gonna say Reagan Russ because that's a wish list guest of mine. I would love to talk to her,
Yeah,
you know,
she's awesome.
followed her career, you know, obviously everything that she's done at BU, and then on top of that, just the advocacy for mental health is just, you know,
Yes.
next level. She's very impressive. I love her content.
Amazing.
If you weren't kind of making hockey content, do you think that you would be doing content in another way? You obviously have a creative brain.
I don't know. Like, I always wonder, like, if I didn't take that jump, where would I be? I think I would probably gear it towards kinda what Reagan's doing because of my degree. My dream goal is to work with athletes and mental health, so maybe in the next 5 years, I'll be with a team or teams and working with them, kinda advocating kinda what Reagan is doing. Maybe down the road, her and I will work together, I'm not sure, but I think that's kinda maybe the direction I would go, or probably just coaching and trying to grow the game, also kinda what she's doing.
That's great. How much do you enjoy coaching? I've seen you've done some stuff with Pro Ambitions. What's it like to kind of be out there and share the knowledge and stuff that you have?
Yeah, I love it. I love to kind of teach goalies different things that I've learned, um, and kinda help them develop because when I learned things when I was younger, I was like, "What is this? Like, are you sure?" And then so then I told them, like, "It works, like, watch," and I demonstrate, and they're like, "Whoa," and I'm like, "Give it a try, like, you never know." Um It's quite interesting to see, though, younger goalies learning from, like, older goaltending, and shift their mindset, "Okay, like, okay, you've tried that, let's try this." You know, just because they did it, it doesn't mean it's wrong, but the game has changed so much since they've played, so we gotta kinda keep up with how it's played now and give it a try and see what works for you. Um, so giving the education and things that I've learned, things that I liked or didn't like, things that coaches look for, don't look for, you know, skills on and off the ice, what's important, and giving that knowledge to kids is crucial. And I think it's awesome that most goalies that I've coached will take in that information and run with it.
You have kind of poked fun at it in your content, and I didn't realize this, but you're 5'2", which is
I'm
not
sure.
is not I don't know what it is. You look taller in all your videos, and I was like, "She's not
Everyone says
5'2".
that. I'll take that compliment.
Yeah, no, I was like, "She's not 5'2", but then I saw it, like, in a couple of different videos. What was it like playing goalie? Obviously, I spoke well, like I said, I spoke to Olivia, who's also a shorter goalie, um, and just the strategy and mentality that goes into, you know, when you're, like, you know, in your butterfly or you're crouched down, you're under the bar.
Mhm.
Um, so what is it like kind of, you know, with the skill level and, you know, being able to pick their spots, being not as big of a target in the net?
Yeah. My mentality is, I'm 5'2", but 6 foot on a good day. So I have that mentality of, you know what, I'm gonna play like I'm 6 foot. I do the same thing when I coach goalies that are my height. I'm like, hey, unfortunately, we're the same height, so this is what I do, and this is what you should try, right? Um, so I have to push myself outside the crease like normal, but I have to move 10 times faster in order to get where the puck is going to be, unlike 6 foot goalies where they take up 80% of the net, 90% of the net. And, I have to work 10 times harder than them. Um, I've always kind of had the fast mentality. I've had coaches in the past say, you're really, really quick, your agility's fast. Like, your skating's great, but you're so small, like we're gonna have to work on facing the shot and playing big. And the biggest thing I learned was I had to be aggressive. That was my hardest thing as a kid, and even playing into college is like I'm not aggressive enough. And so I had to build that over time to really challenge the shooter to shoot in order for me not to be in panic mode trying to get back and stop the puck.
As a player, I would much rather face like a big slow goalie than an aggressive quick one because I'm questioning what you're doing just more than you are me. It's, it's a
Mhm.
wild card kind of thing. And you definitely just from the videos that I saw, like I said, I couldn't believe that you were 5'2". You definitely give off like a bigger goalie than that. So you're doing something right there.
Thanks.
Of course. Well, Gabby, this has been so much fun to get to know you and your content and your background. What's kind of coming up next for you? I know you still have some secrets, but what's on the horizon for you?
Yep. So my next thing is the event in Michigan. Um that's kind of like my biggest focus at this time. And then I have an event in New York with Bauer for a demo day in the summertime, and possibly um going to Boston again for the Prohibitions camp. I think I'm only going to do like a week this year, maybe two. We'll see kind of where we're at. But those are kind of the biggest things that are on my chart, and maybe some things will be in the works in the future here in Oklahoma for some hockey stuff. But other than that, yeah, my main focus right now is just that 24-hour event.
When is Oklahoma going to get an NHL team?
Oh man, I wish I knew. I can't be a Dallas Stars fan. It's not happening. The colors there, it's pretty close to San Jose, but
Yep,
can't be a Stars fan.
I don't blame you. If you come out to Boston, I might have to sneak out into that Pro Ambitions camp and get some lessons.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm willing. I'll take you.
Awesome, awesome. Gabby, where can people find you on social media if they're not one of the almost quarter million people following you on TikTok?
You can follow me on TikTok. I have a YouTube channel, trying to grow that as well. I'm kind of uploading videos and trying to hop on that, and then Instagram as well. And my username is the same all across the board. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome, Gabby. This has been so much fun. I look forward to following your content and we will talk again soon.
awesome. Thank you so much for having me.